Yeah.
Okay, recording. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Dylan, and this is my presentation on my work experience. So my main work experience started off during the first year of the uni course, doing Aspire Radio here at the college. I did quite a variety of shows while working on Aspire. I did like some speech-based, like factual shows, like in the first term. And then in the second term, I went on doing like new music shows, which was like completely different. And then later, I was like trying to focus more on a target audience rather than just doing something random. Me and some other person did. Me and someone else did a chart show. And for this chart show, we did something slightly different. We didn't do like the traditional top 40 or something. We did the number one song from the past 10 years. This actually was quite well received because the rest of the group listened to it and everyone enjoyed listening to it. Especially the features we created for this show, which is probably sort of the first proper in-depth features I ever made. That was just like asking students, going around getting vox pops about nights out and all that, which is relatable for the target audience, and also a quiz show, which proved quite hard to edit just because we had everyone in the room at once talking over each other. But I got quite good feedback on the editing for that, as we managed to like cut out all everyone talking over each other and kept it sounding natural. Also in the first year I went into a lot of news reading and writing scripts for the news. This is something I didn't actually want to do at first, but I just volunteered to do it because no one else wanted to do it in the groups. And at first I wasn't actually good at it either. The scripts weren't that strong, and I stuttered quite a lot and had too much of a fast pace. I'm not stuttering. But like after a while, like doing it for like the rest of the year, I feel like I got quite good at doing that. The scripts became a lot stronger, and my reading was at a much better pace. And I even eventually got other people asking me to do this news bulletins on their shows. And this also helped me with an assignment later in the year when we were doing News Day. We had to go and get our own news story from here at the college, but it was like a pretty dead day. There was like no one about and nothing was happening. So I actually got our group to go down to North Road, as there's a lot more students there and there's always something happening there. And as soon as we got there, it turned out there was like construction work going on. So we managed to get vox pops on that, which was improved our grade quite a lot. In the second year, again, I was still working on Aspire. I was doing the breakfast show for 3 hours, 9 till 12. We both decided, like the person I was working with, it was too long to plan for, like on top of doing uni work and other shows. So we decided to take advantage of this being Aspire Radio. There's not actually that many listeners for Aspire, as it's just for this college. And so we decided to take advantage of this and improve our improvisation skills. This was I felt this was quite important for me because I also started working on Nerve Radio, and sometimes like things go wrong and that. I just wanted to make sure that if I ran out of things to say, I could just come up with something off the top of my head. So this definitely helped for that. And there was one time I was doing a show by myself, like on this 3-hour show, and I actually had 2 other students come in from like lower years, and they actually haven't been in the studio to record a show before, so I actually had to help them, like teach them how to use the studios, how to like run a show, and eventually while I was actually broadcasting on the show, I was actually helping them set up their show at the same time for them to go after. So I've also started working at Nerve Radio, which is the student radio at Bournemouth University. I have my own 1 hour Friday evening show, which I do every other week. There's something like, as I was doing it by myself, I didn't have to work for anyone else, so it could be completely my own show. So I decided I wanted to go into specialist music, which is music I enjoy, and I hadn't had a proper chance to do that before. So with like restrictions and you're not allowed to download music from YouTube and all that, obviously it's illegal and all, the quality's quite low. For like financial reasons, I had to go find actual free music that I could use on the show. So I was getting all the music off SoundCloud for my whole show. But after a while, I decided not to do this. It was too time consuming and a lot of the music wasn't like great quality. So I spoke to the head of music at Nerve, Ryan, and I used music that gets sent to him, which is like proper like chart music and all that, and quite a lot of it I could use in my show. And I turned the SoundCloud thing that I was doing into a feature. So I only did like 2 songs that were like the best songs of the week that I found on there. One of the songs actually proved quite popular. It was a remix of the Macarena, and everyone was down in the bar down like underneath the studio, and there's broadcasting out in there. I actually had one of the technicians come up and tell me that everyone was actually dancing along to it, which is quite good. Yeah, so another thing, like I think using music that was sent to Ryan also improved my shows because it was better for everyone that was listening, because it was like Friday evening and everyone's wanted to get ready to go to town. So like music's more popular, they know like the songs they're listening to, and it just gets them properly ready for the night out. And it also gave me more talking points as well. Like, yeah. So I also started working at Fire Radio. I only worked there for 1 day, but I got this. Fire Radio is like a local commercial station in Bournemouth. It has loads of special shows, so I thought this would be one of the best stations for me to go into for work experience. And there was a couple of people who've actually been working with Jay Fresh, who's like the head of all the special shows at Fire. And he's also a DJ and presenter there as well. So those people introduced me to Jay Fresh, and we spoke for a bit. He was offering me work experience, and I actually saw him the next day as he was here teaching us. And I got the work experience, and he recommended that I actually work with Simon Sinfield, as like music. I have a similar music taste to him rather than the music Jay Fresh plays. Yeah, so Simon it does Friday nights 9 till 12, and he's like a music producer, DJ, and obviously a presenter. And this is like quite new for me because I've never actually seen. This is like the first professional station I worked at, and he was actually like DJing the whole show, which I haven't actually watched anyone do before, so it was quite good seeing that. And he actually taught me how to use all the equipment, like all the DJing equipment and software. And he was saying how that's probably one of the most important things for me to learn if I want to get into specialist music shows. Yeah, so it was good as well, like working with someone with that much credibility. Like he's done like remixes for like Mark Knight and Paul Oakenfold and many other people, and he's like interviewed people like Moby and Andy C. So yes, like working with someone like that was quite like inspirational in a way. Yes. While I was also working with him, he also brought guests in who were like local DJs, and they just gave me like loads and loads of tips, like how to get into DJing, all the equipment to use, and like what not to get, and what to look out for, and everything like that. And this is something I will probably be pursuing in the near future. Like getting all the equipment and actually teach myself how to DJ possibly. For like any future specialist shows I might do. Yeah, for my action plan, short term, I plan to go to a local community radio station, which is Hot Radio. I've got potential volunteer work lined up that I'll be doing in the next few months, which should be really good as it's a different target audience I've never worked with before, and there'll be loads of different things for me to do there. My dream goal, like in 10-20 years time, would be to be on BBC, Radio 1, possibly doing like specialist like late night shows again, or possibly even doing like some news broadcasting. Because like I know this is a skill I've developed quite well while doing work experience, and possibly being like a world correspondent person who like goes around the world like getting news. That seems like a good job for me to have. Yeah, but I'm pretty confident with a lot of the skills I've got through work experience, so I wouldn't say no to any job that was offered to me after the course, as I think I could probably do quite a bit, like wherever it is, and I'd just like to keep my options open for the future. And for an even shorter term goal, I think I'd like to learn Adobe Audition, which is probably one of the most important pieces of software for me to learn, which I haven't actually got around to learning yet. Thank you for listening, and this is my bibliography. Any questions?
Well, tell Simon you found him inspiration. Just in case those who don't know, he's my best mate. I was best man at his wedding. He was best man at my wedding, and I'm godfather to his daughter. And he'll be